now in the town of Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, right on Baltimore Pike. Now Baltimore Pike was Route 1, it was also called the King's Highway. This was the main artery at the time. It would transfer people from Lancaster all the way into Philadelphia. It was a cart path, a little larger than some in Chester County. Now these were interesting pathways. They led the British right into Kennett Square. They led right into Chadds Ford. Now we're in the town of Kennett Square here. One of the buildings behind me in this general area is one of the older buildings. Most likely a tavern at the time, used during the battle. It's probably officers' headquarters. Now when Howe and Cornwallis invaded this area, they arrived here on September 10th with their men, all their men. They had about 14,000 redcoats that were in the area. They camped just outside of town, about a quarter mile. They probably camped in this general area too. So what you see today is basically some of these older structures still survive. There's not too many of them. So basically they stayed here. They knew that Washington was amassing at Chadds Ford. They knew that they had to march early in the morning. And the big thing that they had to come up with, Howe and Cornwallis, was how to outflank the Americans. Now during the New York campaign, they successfully outflanked the Americans. So Howe had a great idea. They thought of a plan overnight, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, they exited Kennett Square, where they stayed overnight here. They moved up Baltimore Pike, which was Route 1, dirt road, in lines, wasn't wide. Took about maybe 2 or 3 cart paths. They went up and basically they saw American light infantry in the area. So there's a couple places we're going to take a look at further down the road where Maxwell's light infantry tried to stop the advancement. Now, right outside of town here, there's a couple historic markers. One dictates that it says that Howe and Cornwallis, they went west. They went this way. They outflanked the Americans. Why, under a German commander, went north along Route 1. So the army broke into 2 sections. One with about 9,000 troops under Howe and Cornwallis. Why, about 6,000 troops went along Baltimore Pike to meet up with Washington's army at Chadds Ford. Now, as I was saying before, when the German commander went north, he had with him Ferguson's riflemen. Now, these were elite corps. They had green jackets that matched the surroundings. And they had a new breech-loading rifle that was invented by the British, and actually invented by the commander himself, Patrick Ferguson. Now this rifle was different because a muzzle loader, you had to take, you put the ball in, and you put the ball down, and that took time to fire. This rifle was new. It had a screw at the base of the rifle that opened the breech at the back. And what they did is they put the ball in, they put the powder, they turned it, and they fired the rifle. A normal musket could fire 3, possibly 4 rounds per minute, if they're good. Patrick Ferguson's rifle, under a good Ferguson rifleman, could fire 6 rounds a minute. Now this was tested during the Battle of Brandywine. They did not use this rifle afterwards. Patrick Ferguson's riflemen were at the front of the advancing column towards Chadds Ford. They had the Queen's Own Rangers, elite corps, right in the front. They were going towards the Kenneth Meeting House, which we're going to visit in a brief minute. So when the baggage train was at the back, so you got the head of the corps, you got the infantry, and then you got the baggage at back. So they're traveling along these roads, they got redcoats, Americans know they're coming. So what they want to do, they want to try to harass them as much as possible, kill as many men as possible before they get to Chadds Ford where Washington is stationed with his army.